What an empowering moment. Empowering and now offering us to take that power and make it a big difference in the lives of people.
What if someone told you that we'll never end overdose or the war on drugs? What if I told you that the battle of the Mainstreaming Addiction Treatment Act was a major step in that direction? Believe me when I tell you, organizing works.
One day it just came to me. I was frustrated, thinking about the loss of my friends. And I went to City Hall in Manchester and I said, what are you guys doing to prevent overdose deaths? What steps are you taking in harm reduction? Because we need to get rid of this stigma and save lives.
When the MAD Act was introduced in early 2021, People's Action chose to dive into the fight as a part of our longer vision to build a world where all people, no matter their relationship to drugs, have what they need to get and stay well.
The MAD Act was about increasing access to treatment. So we know in this country right now, if you are living with a substance use disorder or you are living with addiction, you are criminalized. You are incarcerated, you are denied care. You have to really struggle to find access to healthcare all on your own.
Seeing especially that fight, especially the fight for the MAD Act, was really just saying this is wrong. And it helps to reframe. It was something that we could do. It was a lofty goal, but it was something that we could work on that was achievable and would help to also, like I said, shift the perspective. It gave us an opportunity to be able to open up about the war on drugs and how this mentality is harmful.
Building across lines of difference was a major key to success. No matter your political party, race, class, or relationship to drugs, the MAD Act would be a step towards ending overdose in our country.
What helped push this over the edge was everyone getting on the same page. It was everyone, upstate, downstate, white people, black people. It was every single American person fighting for the right and the freedom that they deserve.
This was a fight where we had to build relationships and coalitions with people that we wouldn't normally be in relationship with. And that felt challenging and uncomfortable. And ultimately, it was part of why we won. We're not used to being allies with the attorney generals on fights like these or with folks that are representing insurers. So that was a challenge as well.
I'm calling up my dad to say, hey, call your pastor friends down in North Carolina and have them call their, I think it was Senator Burr or Representative Burr, and, call him up and tell him that the faith community supports this and all this stuff. And they did, they called up, they reached out to their legislators, and there are just so many different ways, these what seem like itty bitty little pieces, but it makes so much of a difference when people step up for that. And I don't know, personally, it was really cool to see that many people show up in those moments,
And show up they did. We were able to use phone banking, direct actions, and live streams to move key elected officials to put us in a stronger position to win.
We looked at every single, the whole list of who's in Congress, and we mapped on where are the places that our cohort exists and we have relationships. And from there, we did some power analysis of who is movable, who isn't, what might move them. And from there, when there were times that we needed to move people and that one organization wasn't enough, all the organizations came together and did action nights together. So doing a big text bank or a big phone bank. We came to DC in September of 2021 and did some in-person meetings and really raised the pressure on some of our key targets.
402. There's 435 people in there. That means that it's a bipartisan across the aisle. Everyone agrees that this is something that should get passed.
When the MAD Act was ultimately passed, it felt like all was right in the world for a moment. Our hard work was paying off for thousands of people.
I cried because I had to close my eyes, and I seen, for the first time in my life, I seen the dead people smile. And when I said the dead people, we have lost a lot of people trying to get this passed. It was like someone finally turned on the light switch, and we can finally see.
First of all, I was over the moon, okay? Just ridiculously happy. I was really, really focused on it and watching every single thing. I think it was the day it was passed was Christmas Eve. That was the day that Corey passed. To see that on that time, really, it just, obviously I'm emotional on that day anyway. but it just, whoo, we did it, you know? I don't know. All those kind of emotions combined.
It was really unbelievable. We knew it was going to pass the next chamber and we knew Biden would sign it, but there was something that was like, it feels like it's too good to be true to really be celebrating now, but it was true. We won. And the love and excitement that came back through that text thread and then, seen in the email threads and all that was really, really incredible.
Through a lot of hard work and risk, we were able to win the battle, but the war is not over. We are digging into state and local government to build as much power as possible to shift our approach to drugs from one of incarceration and punishment to one of care and compassion for all people.
The next step that we are doing is we are digging back into the states to build deeper and bigger bases of power so that we can win more victories locally that will add up to our next federal level win. So we're going back home and building locally, building power, developing leaders, developing organizers that can build out the army it's going to take to end the drug war.
My fight right now is to encourage city leaders to facilitate listening sessions so that people who are directly affected can bring their vast knowledge and lived experience to the table so that when we're making decisions about how we're going to use this money, we're going to use it in the best way possible that will save the most lives.
This victory means so much to so many people. We're able to imagine a world where the war on drugs has finally waved its white flag. What does that world look like to you?
It's a world where people feel and know how loved they are, and the systems support a space where we love and care for each other.
I'll give it 2 words: dignity and community. And I think that's really what it comes down to. Rather than an other, we are one whole community again. And we treat people with dignity because they are part of our community.
Because there's going to be future generations that's going to be affected. And we're actually saving those that we don't even know yet, that we can't even see. And so when the overdose is over, when the overdose crisis is finally waving its flag, I'll be happy. But there's a whole bunch of other people that probably would need services, and I'll probably be trying to help, see how I can help them. And I'll have it out because I can say, well, are you so sure that, we can win this? I can be like, hey, my people was dying for decades, and now there's no overdose. So that will be rewarding because I can be the one to hold that flashlight while we're walking through the tunnel together.
So, what if someone told you that we can't end overdose and the war on drugs? I'll tell you this. People's Action is committed to continuing the fight to stop preventable overdose deaths and pull through together. Believe me when I tell you, organizing works.